Just when the music was kicking in, it stops. How you doing? Konnichiwa, minasan, it's Gray from Makasashi's Tea House over in Japan. Hope you're good. I hope you're genki. Do you know, it feels like the old days. I got a comment from me best mate, you know what I mean? Speaking Manchester now. Bakamitai, he said. That means you bloody idiot, you fool. Nosferatu, it's like the old days, mate. It's just me and you. Just the two of us. I'll start singing that in a minute if you're not careful. Don't make me emotional. I lament when you were innocent, says Nosferatu. Do you remember those days? How cool was it when I was young and innocent and free, just coming onto YouTube, reviewing The Matrix and getting 100 comments for people telling me, what are you talking about? This has got to be the best movie ever. Just because you've seen it early, what do you know? And I gave it a kind of 5 out of 10, a very mild and mid review. Yeah, I finally got the haircut. Can you believe it? Does it make me look younger? Oh, you're just saying that, aren't you? Just saying that. Nice to see the Stream Elements bot is in the chat as well. Be careful. Don't be too strict out there. So, what is the topic for today? I don't know. Do you know what? I wasn't even going to bother doing a live stream today. I hadn't prepared anything. Just thought, okay, we'll see what happens. Because I'm going to be on the Thinking Critical channel my time tonight, like late night. I think it starts 11 p.m. Japanese time, but that means it's 10 a.m. Eastern in the US on Saturday morning. So yeah, looking forward to that. So I was okay, maybe you should take a week off, just chill, head down the beach. But then it's like, nah, come on, do something. You never know, you might get a few people watching. It's cool at the moment. It's saying there's nobody watching, but Nosferatu is here. So it's a lie. Yes, the Matrix review did start all this. Isn't that crazy? Let's talk about actual sumo. Listen, Nosferatu, are you doing your Shikodachi? I've not done mine yet today. I'm going to get there. It could be time for a bit of a live Shiko on stream again. What I'll do is when the construction work gets noisy out the back, out there, they're building a house right outside. When they start harrying and stuff, I'll get up and do a few Shikos, try and distract you. What do you reckon? There he goes, here we go. That's the first one. So, showing off my one-piece t-shirt as well. What you got to do, get your leg up as high as you can, and then come down. There we go. Oh, the chair cushioned me fall. And then get the other one up, come down and hold this. You can't see what I'm doing, but I've got like a horse stance, which is Shikodachi. Say it properly. Say it after me. Shikodachi. So Shiko is the shape and Dachi is stand or stance. So there we go. Nosferatu says he's taking a break because of the knees. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, I know what you mean. You have great Shiko form, actually. Haha, yeah, I wish. Not as good as the sumo wrestlers. So, okay. What we're going to do, there is actually a topic today I did want to talk about. There were 2 very good comic book releases last week, well this week really, both on Wednesday, and both fantasy. If you like a bit of fantasy, a bit of oiled muscular looking men and buxom ladies wearing very little, you got to check these comics out. Let's see if I can share a screen. The first one is Conan the Barbarian. There's a new series out by it's Titan Books or Titan Comics, which is a UK brand, and they've teamed up with, I think, whoever has the license of the Conan material now. It's something like Heroic, I'm forgetting the name, but the Heroic Signatures, bit of a weird name, but as far as I know, they've got the license, so they are doing this with Titan Books, Titan Comics, and they've got Jim Zub writing it, who wrote some Conan before. He does quite a lot of D&D themed work. He's a huge role player, big into that. Tabletop, yeah. And it's got art by Roberto Della Torre, and let me show you some of the art. I tell you, this is fantastic. That's the map, first of all. Look at the map. I love a bit of map action, Hyborian Age. So, this is a cover by Dan Panosian. It's a gorgeous cover, really cool. This is Conan. And then let's have a look at some of the art inside. Here we go, I'll give you an idea. Obviously, with a name like Ravaging Roberto de la Torre, he must be either Spanish or European, so you can see there's a European style. Yeah, I was very happy to see a little bit of boobage on the opening page here, but you don't get much more. It's a tease. There you go, at the top panel. But yeah, great action. It's violent. Some nice variant covers. This is Fire and Ice, actually, what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is the other release. So the other big release, and it's not really a big release, but good fantasy comic release, is called Fire and Ice. And it's based on an old 1983 animated movie. Nosferatu, yeah, I knew it. I knew I'd lost you with that. Don't worry, chat. He's only joking. Mark McGrath, good to see you, man. How good was Conan? It was great, wasn't it? Yes, absolutely. Let me get back to that Conan, because I do have the comic ready to go. Here we go. How do I share this now? Come on, Gray, you know what you're doing. Kind of making it up as I go along. So, let's go to the Kindle tab. We get a nice bit of double page action going on here. Look at that. There we go. And just scroll ahead to a 2-page spread. This kind of thing. Really cool. Loving it. How does it look on? Okay, it's looking like that, is it? Should I go full page? Let's go full page. Boom. That's better, isn't it? Okay. See, just look at the detail. Look at the figures here, the fight and the action. And there's a random bear there in that panel, which Conan quickly takes care of. Takes him off for a meal, I guess. Very, very nice art. But it's not just the art, it's the writing that's good as well. You know, the narration and the voices the writer's got for not just Conan, but the side characters. Sounds good to me. Let's read just a little bit here. It says, and now, here in Haller's Rome, he was closer to Cimmeria than he'd been at any point over the past 8 years. Was it just coincidence, or was it a sign he should give up on this foolhardy trek and return to the land that birthed him? And then we've got a sexy-looking tavern wench there with an eye patch. She's saying, such a sullen look on that fine face of yours. I'm certain I could make you smile, my friend. I'm sure you could, says Conan. Let's have a few drinks and see what happens. But then, unfortunately, he gets rudely interrupted by cries from outside. Dark omens and deviltry. What fool thing are you sprouting, Groff? And that's it, it just gives you an idea. This is the style. Very, very cool. The sound of hooves breaks the stillness of the air. A female, wearing a horned headdress and the marked leathers of the Picts, rides into town at a breathless gallop. There we go. So anyway, let's get back to whoever's here, the chat. Is anybody still watching? I think I've lost Nosferatu. Shut the baby, don't say a word. Gray, will you ever consider a Darkness comic review, says Nosferatu. I don't know. I haven't heard of it, haven't seen it. I'd be open to offers if you pay me enough, Nosferatu. Yeah, it does seem awesome. It is cool. I hope you watch my review, Nosferatu. I know you watched the Fire and Ice one, but the Conan issue 1 is very, very good. It's a very promising opening. I highly recommend it if you fancy checking it out. I'm going to try and get a physical copy because I have to make do with digital being over here in a small town in Japan, with no comic shops. But I'll see if I can get one from the one in Tokyo, get it mailed to me. Okay, it's Dark Horse. Okay. So yeah, the other comic I want to talk about is Fire and Ice. Now, Nosferatu and Mark, if you're still there, have you seen the animated movie, Fire and Ice? This is going back, as I say, it's going back years. Let's have a quick look on Wiki. So a 1983 American animated epic dark fantasy adventure film directed by Ralph Bakshi. Now Ralph Bakshi is most famous for Fritz the Cat and his Lord of the Rings adaptation where he was using the technique called rotoscoping, where they were basically filming actors and then animating on top of them. So you got some really smooth animation, very cool looking, distinctive. And they used the rotoscoping in Fire and Ice as well for, some excellent animation of people running and fighting. And one of the characters, where is she? Princess, I think it's Tigra, is it, or Tigra? She's animated so well. It's fantastic. Tigra, that's it. Yeah, Princess Tigra. Should see it. It's worth checking out. And you can actually watch it for free. It's on, let me just double check. It is on the internet, what's it called? Internet Archive. There's a copy on there. You can download it or stream it. 1080p, it's great quality. I'll tell you what, if we get away with it, we'd just whack it on now and we could watch it together. But, you know, I don't want to get the stream blocked or taken down too soon, anyway, too quickly. So what the comic is going to be is, it's going to be basically a prequel to Fire and Ice. Oh dear, I just love Wikipedia. When you hit zoom in, it goes smaller. Thanks Wikipedia, you're so cool. De La Torre's art in the Conan has a real John Buscema feel. Yes, it does. Classic Conan. Absolutely loved it. That's right. I knew it. I knew you must have seen Fritz the Cat. It's great, isn't it? Great animation. I'm trying to think what else he's done, what else he's famous for. Ralph Bakshi. But if you've not seen the Lord of the Rings adaptation, I think he did about the first book and a half, and then they were going to make a sequel, but they didn't do it. They probably didn't make enough money. They weren't successful enough. Let's have a look. Ralph Bakshi. Wizards as well. That was another one. Yeah, sure. Of course he did. Have a quick scroll down. Wow, was it 1969 he started? Oh my gosh. Let's see if we can get a filmography. So Fritz the Cat was out in 1972. Let's just share that. Let me show you. Heavy Traffic, another kind of stoner 70s animation. That was 73. The very interestingly titled Coonskin, C-O-O-N, Coonskin from 75. Wizards in 77. And then, of course, The Lord of the Rings in 1978. So he was pretty prolific, wasn't he, in the early days? Then there was American Pop, 81, I don't know that one. Hey Good Looking, 82, and then Fire and Ice, of course, in 83. Yes. Very cool. Okay, let's stop sharing that. There we go. Watching Fire and Ice, Mark, heavy metal and wizards, etc. Yeah, it was a big part of your childhood, was it? So cool. Heavy metal is great, isn't it? That's actually just come back on Netflix, Japan, so we can watch that now. I'm very happy about that. Yeah, I know. I'm just reading out what was written on the screen. Just offended half of America. Crazy title, isn't it? I wonder why that's not so well known anymore. You don't see that on Amazon Prime, do you? Or Netflix. Anyway, let's get back to Fire and Ice. So, the comic book was recommended to me by a friend, Ironcaster, another streamer, another YouTuber, and I didn't even know it was coming out, heard nothing about it. But it is out from Dynamite, who are most famous for, they do, what's she called? Vampirella and titles like that. Red Sonja, with all the variant covers. They like to do a cosplay variant too, but here it is. Here's the 3 of the covers there, and the writer's actually Bill Willingham, who he's famous for writing Fables. Nosferatu, if you're still there, I think you'll know that. You talked about Fables, I think, in the past. So a very good writer, a little bit wordy, but it's a good opening, good story. Let's see what he had to say. Now, this is from an article from March this year. It's bleeding cool. Bill Willingham says that I discovered both Frank Frazetta and Ralph Bakshi at an early age. My awareness of Frazetta cemented the first time someone put a Conan book into my hands. I discovered Bakshi when almost everyone did, when the film Wizards was released. I was in college at the time, working a number of jobs to be able to afford it. One of those jobs was at a local movie theatre. I got to see it about a dozen times, twice a night for a week, and it ignited something profound in me. Now, 50 plus years later, there was a chance to work with these story giants. I wasn't about to pass up the opportunity to work with these giants of the earth. Look at that, that's awesome. Some nice variant sketches here, some of the interior art. Very nice. Look at this one. I've got to click on this, I can't help it. Wow, there she is, Princess Tigra. It doesn't appear yet in the first issue. But we do see these two characters. Actually, maybe that is her. Is that her? Okay. No names were used, so... Bill Willingham goes on to say, I've always had the desire to explore more character and world building around the film, and doing this comic series has provided just that. Oh, it said Sarah Frazetta. Okay, that's Frank Frazetta's daughter, who, by the way, do follow on either Instagram or Twitter, because she posts a lot of the art, her father's art. It's so cool. Our team is truly out of this world. I'm so proud of everyone involved. The artist, by the way, is Leonardo Manco. He's very, very cool. You should see it. Well, you can tell. Look at the art here. Some examples. Gorgeous painted art. There's so much heart, and the process has been overwhelmingly positive. The dedication and talent has been jaw-dropping with this new series, shared Eddie Bakshi. The Bakshi family is honoured and thrilled to be able to see Fire and Ice come back to life with such creativity. What an incredible storyline addition. We are all in for this release. So as I say, it just dropped on Wednesday. It's $3.99 and definitely worth picking up. Very, very cool. Hey, how's it going? There's an invasion in the chat. I knew it. Right, you do love Fables, yeah? Yeah, it's a series that my brother's a big fan. Oh, Mick, he's a fan of that as well. It was your introduction into taking the time to actually read comics. Yes, nice one. Hell yes, says Salty. Good to see you, mate. The box wine brother of Nosferatu. And Zax is here too. Thanks for dropping in, guys. I appreciate it. Mostly naked, curvy women in a fantasy setting. Salty. I know, you can't go wrong with that, can you? Have you guys recovered from Nosferatu's chat trolling? I would say it, trat trolling. And the Wheel of Time stream the other day on Profits. That was hilarious. Oh my God. Mark saying Roy Thomas and Jerry Conway were two of the writers on the movie. Yes. That's right. I remember that, seeing that. Roy Thomas, of course, of Conan, the original Conan Marvel series fame, and many more. And Jerry Conway, Spider-Man. My God, that takes me back. Gray dishonoured me and I'll be challenging him to a duel under a cherry blossom tree. Okay, mate, we'll have to wait till next year. End of April? No, sorry, end of March, early April for the Sakura, the blossoming. Nerdporial, how you doing? Great to see you. Yeah, shout out to Nerdporial, he just dropped a video. It's an anime classic he's introducing people to. Napoleon, drop the title in the chat because I'm forgetting it. Is it The Legend of the Galactic Hero? Something like that. It's one I've never heard of, mate. But yeah, do check that out. Where are we? In fact, I won't play it, but I can share it, can't I? Yes, I can. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. If I click on YouTube while I'm streaming, does it affect anything? I don't think it does. Let me know if I start to robot. Here we go. Legend of the Galactic Heroes is a must-see space opera. Nerdporial Lifeform. Just dropped it. Let's share screen. Here we go. Nerdporial recommends Legend of the Galactic Heroes. So yeah, it does sound cool. He was talking about it being a kind of, or being compared to recent, the Game of Thrones style storyline, which sounds excellent. Lots of, even though it's set in space like sci-fi, lots of court intrigue, lots of betrayals, that kind of thing. So yeah, I would definitely check it out. Looks good, looks great. Wow, who else is here? We got Jacob in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Thank you for dropping in. I can't hear, but I'm here. Have I gone quiet? Am I muted? Never mind. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just got my haircut. Finally, it was getting ridiculous. I was developing a bit of an afro. I can't seem to grow. long hair. Now, I've always wanted a Tom Cruise Last Samurai look, but it just can't grow long. It just kind of grows thick and gets really hot. And this crazy hot, humid weather, had to get rid of it. Where are we? How are we going? So we've only going for 20 minutes. Goodness gracious me. I was going to drop the link and share if you fancy. Where are we? But I'm not going to put it in the chat. No way. I'm too scared to do that. Salty, if you want to talk a little bit of Fire and Ice, the actual movie, there's the link you can drop in. You're welcome. Zax, I know you're busy, but you're always welcome too. And Nerdporial, mate. There we go. Anybody else, let me know. Do let me know, and I will fire you a link. Wait a minute. Oh my God, Your Barmy, what are you doing? Thank you. Your Barmy's gifted a Wakizashi Tea House membership. Do use those emojis if you get a member. Become a member. Oh my God, if you get a member, that sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? Don't forget, Gray, Wakizashi is one of the most innocent people on YouTube. Don't, God, my English isn't even working. Don't corrupt me, guys out there. Nosferatu, don't do it. Thanks for that, I appreciate it. Your Barmy, good to see you, mate. And you're welcome, Mark. Yeah, it wasn't me, it was Your Barmy, so I really appreciate that. There are a few members-only videos. Don't worry, they're not grey only fan content. They are actually little glimpses into Japan, where I live, so not very exciting, really. Jaina-chan. I am not a dirty scouser, except from his lack of manners. You crazy man. Let's see if we can share. Can we share a photo? This is where I usually start to robot. So that was a Fire and Ice comic book cover. A little bit of the art from inside. Look at this, Leonardo Manco. So good. Look at that detail. Doesn't it remind you a little bit of the Conan one, although it's even more, it's kind of more defined, isn't it? The Conan art is fantastic, I love it, but it's a bit rough and raw and sketchy, which has a nice fluid feel to it. This is like a Frazetta cover, or a Boris Vallejo. There we go. This should lead up to Fire and Ice. Now, we're going to get a very big change now in art style. Are you ready? I was watching Fire and Ice on the the Internet Archive. It's available for free. Watching it this morning to get in the mood, and I know these stills don't do it justice. You've got to see the animation in motion. But very cool. It's violent, it's rough, it's a bit sexy, but yeah, recommend it. Look at this. Look at the backgrounds. The backgrounds are great, and it does use that rotoscope style of animation. Let's get back. Oh my God, I thought someone was here, but guess what? It's me sharing the screen. Yay, Jacob, are you 3 months now? That's fantastic. I'm going to show it. Don't worry about it. Don't retract. Yes, great to see you. And do drop those chats. Princess Tigra Mark. Oh my God, she's so hot in this. Where are we? I think I've got a shot somewhere. Again, look at this art. It's painted art. It's gorgeous. Don't forget, we're talking 83, 1890, 2000. 40 years. That's probably why they brought out the comic, isn't it? To celebrate. It's 40 years since this came out. There she is. And I say you've got to see her in motion. She gets grabbed and taken out of her room. And again, beautiful detail. Look at that. Just got one more. It's Princess Tigra's father. So cool. Okay, that's enough of that. Check Twitter and share before haircut picture. Have you got one of me, Salty? What are you talking about? Where are we? I can't share that. I'll get cancelled. Oh my God. You're crazy. Shall I do it, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, shall I do it? This is... Sorry if you get me into trouble. It's your fault. Does anybody remember laughter? Come on. Nothing wrong with that, is there? Salty Travelling Sea with a quick mock-up picture of Gray's before and after. Oh my goodness. It's fantastic. Oh, it's gone. Look at this. Amazing, amazing change. I love it. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Whatever happened to my planned stream? Groovy. Appreciate it, Mark. Thanks. It's turning into a Tim Talk stream, isn't it? No, come on. I'm too pure. I'm too innocent for that. So that was about it. Yeah, I just wanted to shout out those 2 comic books. Conan the Barbarian, Fahrenheit issue 1. Do check them out if you've any interest in either comics or fantasy. Definitely worth a look, and even just for the artwork, it is fantastic. Great to see. I'm getting a bit scratchy there. Oh, that's better. I'm drinking Japanese mugi cha, by the way. It's barley tea. It's still early here. Hey, Yobami, nice one, mate. I appreciate it. Thanks for the memberships, and thank you for your continued support. It's awesome. So, what should we do? What should we talk about? No one's coming in. It's just me. It's me on me lonesome. Nobody wants to chat. It is turning into a Tim Talk stream, isn't it? Because he's always like, "Oh, you guys, you're just trolling me. You're just asking me to stream because I'm drunk, and no one's coming in to talk." I love you, but F you, you're hyperbolic. I don't even know what that means. Dwayne, how you doing? Great to see you. Sorry, I missed your shout out. As the, oh my God, wait a minute. The construction work's taking off. We've got to start. She got that. She got 1. That's 1, 2. Hold it. My balance is getting better since I've been doing it, I've only been doing it for a few weeks, but I tell you, I can hold it longer. The stance is good. Get the leg a bit higher. Just showing off now. I'm making Nosferatu feel bad because he's using big words like hyperbolic, which I don't understand. Where are we? Hyperbolic. And let's see, can I spell? Hyperboli. See you next Tuesday. Relating to hyperbola. Deliberately exaggerated. Good grief. What are you doing, Nosferatu? If somebody is hyperbolic, they tend to exaggerate things as being way bigger deals than they really are. Me? Hyperbolic statements are tiny dogs with big barks. Don't take them too seriously. Hyperbolic is an adjective that comes from the word hyperbole or hyperbole, which means an exaggerated claim. Jesus, this got really technical, didn't it? Suddenly. Speaking of technical, get my headphones in.
Salty. Hey.
Salty.
You were talking about Fire and Ice, and you and I have talked about this movie a lot. And I saw Maxfield Von Priestley talking about this comic book. I totally forgot it was coming out. I immediately ran out and ordered issue 1 and pre-ordered issue 2 and 3 because my local comic shop no longer really carries comic books. It's all Funko Pops and bullshit D&D stuff. It's a true story. So I just ordered it, and no regrets at all. I am so stoked for this. I am so stoked for this comic book.
I'm delighted that you're excited too. I've managed to, not just me, but Max as well. But so there'd been hardly no press for this. That's why I didn't even know it was coming out. It was a YouTube buddy that let me know last week. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I remember reading an article about this, months ago, and totally forgot about it. And, Max also reminded me that the rights for Conan went to a German publisher that is releasing the entire omnibus.
Yes.
But they're also doing floppies as well, and I cannot find any. I'm gonna have to go to Seattle, God help me, to probably just have them hold issues or mail them to me, because I want the Conan comics too. So you want a salty Funko Pop? Well, I've got t-shirts. Go to my Teespring store. It's not my channel. I updated that. How are you doing, Gray? Dude, your review of Fire and Ice in the comic book was just isn't it crazy and fun to talk about cool things that are good, that are
It
fun?
is. It's refreshing. It's like when you were talking about the what was the Chuck Dixon adaptation of, was it Wheel of Time?
Wheel of Time.
Comic book.
Wheel of Time.
Something decent with great art.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to this. It's just I love this movie. I've got it on DVD, but I think they did a restoration that's on Blu-ray, and I have yet to get that. It might that seems a little excessive, but you know what? I might have to get that. So
yeah. I'm so jealous, mate, because you've ordered the physical copies. I'm gonna try and get hold of them, and we'll see what happens. But yeah,
great.
for now,
If you
digital.
let me place another order, and I'll
No. Seriously, I might be able to get one from Tokyo.
Okay.
I haven't checked
Okay.
yet. No worries,
All right.
but I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you can't, just let me know because I'll post them. No worries at all.
Tell you, Salty, the Conan omnibuses that they're bringing out. It's actually there's two companies. It's Heroic Signatures. I think that's maybe German one or Swedish, and Titan Comics or Books from the UK.
Yep.
So they got together. They're going to bring them out, but they're like $120
Yes.
something each. But they look amazing.
They look amazing. Because I ran and was like, oh my god, I'm going to get one, and I'm like, okay, it's $100 and something for shipping, and it's like. I don't know about that, So I mean, these are hard covers. I'll wait for the soft covers, ladies, to come out if they.
Ladies, I think they're not out till the fall, are they? As far as I know. So I mean, there are some out already, but older versions. But yeah, these look so good, Salty. There's a Conan and there's a Savage Sword as well. They're doing both.
Zach's. They're 100, and I think I saw one that was 125 American. So I don't know what that is in Canadian dollars. Nas wants to buy you Adrenochrome, Gray. Well, Christmas is gonna be here sooner than you think, Nas. You better plan ahead.
Yes, yeah, better had. So it doesn't have the price here. It's 776 pages, the Conan one. This is the original Marvel series, and then there's a Savage Sword they're doing as well, which are probably even better. But yeah, oh my God, Salty, so tempting.
I used to get a couple of those when I was a wee lad before I cared, and bought a comic book and read it like it was some holy text from the 13th century, and then put it in a bag with a board, like I just used to abuse my comic books, and throw them around and rip them and everything and just read them and enjoy them. And some of them were those old Conans. And,
absolutely. I used to sneak a peek at my big brothers. He used to collect it. So yeah, I couldn't really understand much of the story. I was very young, but I was like, look at this art. And even then I knew it was great. Great art.
It's crazy because that the Red Sonja remake movie is coming out, and I was going to do a video on it, but just it is Agenda City, and that's another thing. I would love if somebody somewhere who had a love of the source material did a Conan Red Sonja team up and went back to some of the original stories, and pulled some plot lines like that from Howard. I just, the world needs that, and not only that, but the world will give people who makes things that are faithful to source material so much money.
That's what you talk about, so isn't it? That's just the first volume, the collected.
It's
Robert E.
beautiful.
Howard, The Coming of Conan, the Cimmerian. It's great. It's got all the early stories in this, but tell you what, man, the text is tiny. As I get older, I'm like, oh my God, I can't see it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's half the reason that I will read books that I already have on Kindle, because I can increase the size of the type. Because
yes, yeah, same.
Some
nice illustrations too. Very cool.
Yeah. Nosferatu says he did the same thing with Hustler magazines when he was a small child as well. He just run around and abuse them and make the pages stick together. That doesn't shock me. Nos, I did the same thing. You
used to keep it in your back pocket or your front pocket, Nos. Just asking. There we go. But yeah, I know. Totally, I'm the same. Like so many comic books that I wish I'd taken more care of, and I wish I still had these days. They might be worth something. Not even that, just to read them again. But I didn't worry about it back then. I take better care of them now. But what can you do?
Yeah, it was anything that was crazy, like Ghost Rider. I didn't know the character, but when I was a young kid, because my parents wouldn't buy it for me, I'd talk my grandpa into buying me the craziest looking comic books there were. Because when you go to grandma and grandpa's house, you can do whatever the hell you want. So, but I had a ton of the old Ghost Rider stuff and anything with demons and witches and magic, and I was all about that.
Absolutely.
Was there anything that you saw? Sorry, was there anything that you saw? Because I'm assuming you looked at the Comixology version or the online version in there that really stuck out to you. as far as scenes that maybe you didn't cover? Or how's the pacing? Is it text heavy? I mean, how does it look? Because your opinion as a comic book reviewer matters to a lot of people, including me.
Really? You're talking about the Conan or the Fire and Ice?
The Fire and Ice. The Fire
and Ice. It's Bill Willingham, who's kind of famous for writing fables for Vertigo back in the day. So it's a little bit wordy.
I remember Fable.
It's well written, so he's a good writer. He's someone who can write well. Good world building. We don't really get to know the characters straight away because it's a lot of setup, and we get a bit of a weird language as well from I don't even know what they're called. There's two or three different races, aren't there? There's like a kind of human race, and there's a weird monster race or something. You probably know more about it than me, the storyline.
Did you think the art was really accurate? Was the cover did you get any bait and switch vibes from it, or was it pretty consistent?
Not at all.
Good.
It's really good. Because even though it's by Dynamite, I know they can be hit and miss, as you said. Is it true that the latest is it Red Sonja? It's been written by Mags Versaggio. Oh my god!
Oh boy, Red Sonja has a penis now! Yay! Hooray!
But this was good. This is decent. The artist Leonardo Manco, he's not been doing comics for a while. I remember him from years ago, Salty, and he does a gorgeous painted style. It's very, very nice art, as you've probably seen. I only showed the first few pages in the review. I didn't want to spoil it.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because I am going to read it, and I am going to frame all three. I'm going to put up like the holy trinity, because I'm assuming it's just going to be a 3-shot, not a.
Okay, as far as I know, it's a mini. I didn't know it was 3, but mini series. Look at this, Dwayne with a shout out there. Conan number 16, the real Conan, the original Marvel run. The Frost Giant's Daughter. One of the most famous early stories.
Yeah.
Got that in here. So, anyway, come on, Salty.
No, I was going to say Stephen Ransom says that he purchased the Krull in Conan Complete Collection on Audible.
Awesome.
Okay, now I might need to. I don't want to give them money, but I might have to get that if there's a deal, because I would love to drive around listening to Conan.
Yeah. I wonder who reads it. Recently, I was listening to a great reading of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by I think it's Stacy Keach. He's got a really rough, like scratchy, gravelly, alcohol, tobacco voice. It's awesome.
There's another version. It came out in the 90s. It was a full cast audiobook reading of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It is one of the most perfect audiobooks ever. Just like World War Z with a full cast. If you don't know that audiobook, and I know we're way off topic, but World War Z, the audiobook with the full cast, is absolutely
good.
incredible. It's just amazing. Let's all just be grateful, though, that Rosamund Pike hasn't read the Conan books yet, like she has Robert Jordan. And
she's taking over Wheel of Time.
Yeah, it's the Rosamund Pike show. I had to sneak that one in there, just because I'm me.
Don't do it. You'll trigger Nosferatu in the chat. He'll be comment bombing me in a minute as well.
Dempsey has entered the building. What's up, dude?
Dempsey, how you doing, man? I'm just scrolling through my history because it's on YouTube. It's available for free at the moment. That when I talk about the Fear and Loathing by Stacy Keach, so definitely worth a listen. I found it here. Okay, let's just quickly share this. How are we doing? Dempsey, are you good? I hope you're Genki, mate. Great to see you. Great to see Stephen Ransom as well. I hope things are going well. Who else? No one else I've missed. Oh my god, Dwayne, the Frazetta Conan covers. Tell me about it. As I say, do follow Sarah Frazetta. It's his daughter. She posts a lot of her father's art on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter, sorry. What is going on with that?
Dude, I don't know. I mean,
I'm all over the place.
I could. It's interesting you say that, because I spend a lot of time in my day tweeting Nerdporial, Prophet of the Dragon, Amanda Manethra, and all the crazy things that are on Twitter related to Wheel of Time. And I mean, it's just talk about a show that nobody gives a shit about. But you know what I did do is I went to Diamond, because that's how I ordered my comics. Oh yeah. And I started to look at, they had a bunch of alternate covers, but not obnoxiously. They had like metallic covers that were like $50, or they had like multiple signature in plastic versions for God, what was it? I think it was $500 or $200. You could get Sarah Franzetta signed it along with the artists who did the comics.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to see a book before I get a signature like that. But what's interesting is Franzetta's art. It actually, that famous picture, I think it was on a Molly Hatchet album cover, with the guy with the black helmet and riding the black horse with the big battle axe. That original oil painting went at Sotheby's auction. It was a couple of weeks ago. It sold for $6 million.
That is insane.
$6 million.
Are you serious?
And,
wow.
Yeah, and it's just the last time it was to market, I think it sold for around $1 million, but that was 10 years ago. But it just goes to show you like the endearing legacy of what Franzetta did. There have been people who have tried to copy him, but nobody can do what Franzetta did.
So this is a Franzetta cover from the actual movie, isn't it? And they've adapted it for the comic book as well. Look at that. Yep. That is gorgeous.
It's just that's one of those things where I pray to God, and I think that Hollywood is doing that they're going to remake Fire and Ice. I think they're actually remaking it, and
really,
I regret to say that, but there's some of the alternate covers that are there. It's got that vibe of like the 80s. Sorry for the noise, my windows are open. It's got that 80s, heavy metal magazine when it wasn't full of shit, like when it was
it used to be good.
Fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's so many. I mean, Dynamite are famous for ridiculous numbers of variant covers. It says 28 here. I'm not going to go through them all, but some nice ones.
I think some of those are for the future ones, like the 2s or 3s, because the only ones I could find were for the first issue, obviously, because that's out. But there was a metallic one for 50 and then the signed one for 200 or something like that. So,
I like this one. Who's this one? Is that meant to be Princess Tigra, isn't it? Does it say who it is? Just says variant.
That's my future ex-wife you're talking about. Dude, be nice.
Be nice. Very cool. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's stop sharing that. I thought you might be picking up the Conan comic, Salty, as well. If you can get a hold of a copy of that, it's worth a read. It's fantastic.
That's another one where my local comic shop doesn't carry it because, again, literally they're selling Funko Pops and blind bag minis, lots of paintable stuff, lots of Warhammer 40K, but a lot of it has to do with it's really the comic book shop has shifted with the economy, and since there's a lot of tourists that come into town during the summer, I think they're selling to people from out of state, and there's just not I don't think a local population large enough to support comic books. They got a couple of back issues, but that's what sucks. And comic shops are going away for some very obvious reasons, like that you've talked about and Max Field on Priestley's talked about. So I'm just going to use an online puller to forward to me or buy them directly from the publisher like I did with Dynamite. And the problem with Conan is, though, I can't find a direct source to get it. Now I'm going to work on it. I think there's a pull box or pull list or something.com. But I really, really want that one. I really want to try the Conan series because Max said it was freaking awesome too.
Yeah, so. It's great. There's no, what do you call it? It's proper Conan. So it's uncensored, nice and violent. But the writer's got a good voice for him. That's what I was kind of impressed by. It's not perfect comic, Salty, by any means, but it's a very promising opening issue to a new series. And the art is stunning, as you've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy a whole miniseries. 3 issues, I'll take a flyer on it, because if nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and frame, get a 3 comic frame and put it up in the studio just for nostalgia's sake, just for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah. Where are we? Let's have a quick look. If you could choose a cover from one of these, let's just share the screen. The main cover is awesome. It's Dan Panosian. I always want to say Personian, but Panosian, look at that. But
yeah,
let's have a look through these covers. That's the movie one. Look at that. That's the movie one, isn't it?
I without any doubt or hesitation. I mean, you're an 80s kid like I am, dude. I mean, that for better or for worse, we are fans of what it was that came out when we were kids. And to me, this
Yeah.
obviously Conan was Conan before Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that is the imprint I have on Conan before I started reading Howard and Jordan and things like that. And just like Henry Cavill imprinted on me as The Witcher before I started to read the Witcher books. And even though I read all of Sapkowski's books after watching the show, I always heard Geralt's voice has Henry Cavill's, so
shout out to French Potato in the chat. He's right there. When movie posters were badass, Salty.
Oh, dude! Not just this, but Krull had a crazy movie poster.
Yes.
Sword and Sorcerer.
Better than the film.
Dude, there's a terrible movie called The Barbarians with two roided out freaks on it, like running around with swords. And some of this art,
I'm not sure about
that
this
kind
one.
of art is a little too Cal Arts for me. It's a little too Adult Swim. It's a little too, that's good. I can
That's more like
get
it.
That one. Yeah.
That's another one by Panosian, the main cover guy. Where's one I wanted to show?
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That looks like Wonder Woman in the background. Actually,
well, you know what it reminds me of is I think second edition Dungeons and Dragons art. They had a lot of you know what I mean, the ink art. It was all black and white, and it just reminds me of so many of those scenes. You'd have some trippy late 70s, early 80s fantasy style of art in all those D&D books.
And this is a variant by the actual interior artist, Roberto de la Torre. It's gorgeous. That's classic Conan to me.
Yeah. Dwayne Muth really liked Old Man Conan, and then you've got French Potato said they are homogenizing art. I also think it's a function of not very good artists. I talked about it on Nerdporeal Stream the other night. Was part of what we've got is a generation that was rewarded for mediocrity and with their writing, and I think the same thing is the case with art. I think that's why so many of us are so moved by the Franzetta covers and the way this comic book looks, because it looks like somebody cared. It looked like somebody cared about the source material. It had the talent to replicate it,
Oh, how about that one? That looks straight off the old Marvel series, doesn't it? Look at that.
Those are great covers. I mean, these are great covers. It's just, you see a comic book like that, and you're not going to have any gay kisses. I don't care what people think about that. You're not going to have fat chicks with mohawks and nose rings, in it, just stuck in Conan's world. So.
I don't know, those pick warriors, the warrior women were pretty badass, but at least he had hair that looked kind of normal.
I was traumatized because I was watching Maxfield Von Priestley's stream earlier, and they covered the Iceman comic, dude.
Was he talking about Iceman? Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I knew comics were bad, but I'm like, somebody got paid to make this comic book. No, it wasn't much, but somebody printed what they did, and that's the part that blows my mind. It just blows my mind.
Mind blown, Salty. Mind blown. Wow, I can't believe it. We're doing well. We've got 11 people watching. It's amazing and great to see you in the chat. Big shout out to Dwayne. Yeah, mate, it sounds good to me. Old Man Conan. Mark McGrath still here. The Witcher. Look what they did to my boy.
It's funny. I reached out to Jed, Hollywood Scholar, with help in trying to, because he's a Witcher dude, and he wanted me to watch season 3, and I could not take season 2, and I quit. And again, I loved the first season before I read all the books. And after I read the books, I'm like, okay, I understand what you did in season 1. I don't have to like all of it. But then when season 2 started, I'm like, I'm out. Like, I am out. I made it 2.5 episodes, and I'm like, you can F off and die. Yeah. But I went to Jed because I wanted to make a video about something that I was really disturbed by in the Wheel of Time. And this is a guy who talked about crazy things the Witcher writers did on the show with 12-year-old boys and 40-year-old men, if you know what I mean. And it's just like, you cannot defend what they did to the Witcher. This could have been something that went to the big screen and had a trilogy of movies if you just would have followed the source material. You're talking about billions of dollars in merchandise, in lunch boxes and t-shirts. But apparently Lauren Histrich just wanted to use The Witcher to sell feminine hygiene products, because that's what the end product looks like, you know?
It's like, I know you heard this a million times, but why not just have a series with The Witcher in it, called The Witcher, you know, with The Witcher fighting monsters and creatures and that kind of thing? What a crazy idea, right?
Well, you need talent. First of all, you need talent. And Dempsey, you're right, man. Dragon Magazine was badass too. We had a lot of those back in the day. We really did.
Hail to Nay Nay Nay. Hope you're good, my European brother. Good to see you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salty bringing... Oh, Jesus, Nosferatu. Yeah, really? Bringing the pizza vibes.
You know what? I didn't. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Jed had to tell me that, and I was like, you're shitting me, right?
I had no idea. No.
And then, of course, the Wheel of Time teaser trailer they tacked onto episode 8, which, oh my God, talk about teaching a little girl.
How did you find out about that, by the way? Because I thought it was a new preview, and it's not, is it? You guys were watching season 1, the end of episode 8 or something?
Well, I found out because Trip told Prophet of the Dragon, Trip and I think a White Cloak told Prophet of the Dragon, and I'm sitting at home minding my own business, and it's later than I normally would go stream, and he's like, dude, you're not going to believe this. So Al just hopped on a stream, and none of us knew what he was about to show us. And then and Steve hadn't watched the video, the episode, the teaser all the way through. So all of our reactions are authentic. But when we got to the part where the little girl is essentially being groomed by this show's Dark One to not be afraid of a predator, a literal predator, that's when I said, I got to make a video about this, because the messaging, at best, it is a poorly conceived allegory. At worst, it is exactly what it looks like. You know, so yeah.
Yes, you're right, Stephen Ransom. Yeah, Salty. He's saying so many millions of billions have been lost forever. Fandom chased away. You know, what a great idea, Salty. Like, turn on the fans, you know.
Well,
whose idea was that?
I mean, dude, it's so hysterical. Look at the MCU and like Disparu, Disparu's deconstruction. I mean, really perfectly, analytically, dispassionately done, in the best way of Secret Invasion. And then you have a director coming out and saying, I didn't actually make it for the fans, and I don't care what the audience actually thinks. And it's like, then you are in the wrong business, because it's called entertainment. And if it's not entertaining, why are you doing it? I mean, it's just, I don't know. Again, what am I missing here? You know?
I don't know what you're missing. What we're missing is good content that respects the source. Simple as that. You know, good stories and good characters. But sorry, there must be something out there that is good these days. And we've been talking about comics earlier and old animated movies. But anything recent, anything new, or the last few years that you could think, yeah, this is great.
You know, there are a lot of recommendations that I got from people. One thing that I will say, and I came to it very late, was Primal. Was the animated show Primal, which I cannot recommend enough, but don't watch the last episode of season 2. I'm going to say that. But the rest of it was the most engaging, emotionally involved I have been in any characters of anything. And it's 2-dimensional art with a dinosaur and a Conan-like hero. There's virtually no talking, okay? It's all just animation and emotion and story. And I cannot say enough good things about Primal. Of course, you know, Zach's recommended Dark to me. I watched that. I think it's an absolutely fantastic, mind-bending show. I've watched it twice. You know, other people have recommended Silo. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know. You know, I spend a lot of time watching older movies, things that I maybe saw as a kid, like on the Late Late Show and stuff like that, or World War II movies. I'm really on a John Wayne kick right now. But what have you found, Gray? I mean, I know you probably, well, I don't know how it is with Japanese entertainment and you, but I mean, what do you dig?
Well, you've already heard this a few times, but that sumo drama on Netflix, Sanctuary, definitely worth a look. And then we've got Nosferatu echoing me in the chat. But recently I've started watching some older American baseball movies. I don't know where that came from. I just got a desire to watch it, to get to know a bit more of the game. So, looking for recommendations from you and from people in the chat. Here we go, guys.
Bull Durham.
Bull Durham. I've not seen that in years, but I roughly remember
watch it. Bull Durham. One of the greatest monologues ever done. Bull Durham.
Okay, that's definitely going to rewatch that. Then it's been a long time. Yeah. Is that the one with? Is it either Tim Robbins or Kevin? Not Kevin Spacey. Kevin Costner.
It's Kevin Costner, Tim Robbins,
Susan
that
Sarandon.
wackadoodle, leftist hag, Susan Sarandon's in there. But it's a great story. It's absolutely a great story. So.
Nosferatu shouting out Field of Dreams. Wait a minute, Nosferatu. Isn't that a little bit gay or something? Sorry, don't kill me. Don't kill me in the chat.
Angels in the Outfield is a pretty good movie. It's a little dated, but I'm not judging. That's just my opinion, and I'm a dick. But other
is Friday Night Lights any good? Is that worth watching? Friday Night Lights.
I didn't think so, but I'm an asshole. As far as baseball, Major League is funny. It's a very dated 80s comedy, but it's really great. Totally appropriate humor. So
I tell you what, I watched the 90s. I watched Moneyball. The first time I'd seen that.
It's a good movie.
I thought it was decent. I enjoyed it. I liked the kind of stats approach to it, and it did teach me quite a lot about the game. I think I almost understand baseball now. Sorry.
Yeah.
As a Brit.
Yeah. I mean, there's some deeper stuff out there, but not knowing this was the way it was going to go. Nas loves Friday Night Lights.
The Natural says Dempsey. Nos is shouting out again.
Yeah.
He loves Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
The American Football Show. Oh, is it American Football? God, man, I'm getting mixed up. It's not baseball, is it? Sorry.
Yeah, and in truth, the original A League of Their Own is actually worth watching. Don't listen to what Zach says about the remake. He's Canadian.
Is it a remake with a women team, a female team, or?
It is heavy on LGBTQ plus diverse representation. Let's say that. And I think they actually pulled it off the network for taxes because it was better to take a tax
take a
break
loss
because nobody watched it. Just like the Pink Ladies, I think, did. So yeah.
Jacob, good night, mate. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Good night, you guys. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't going to stream tonight. I was going to take a night off because it's been a long week. But I saw you talking about Fire and Ice, dude, and I just Night Shift. Good movie. A lot of
just
good.
When you thought you got away, so I pulled you back in.
That's all right. It's you. Whatever you put on that sexy dress and shake your ass for me. You know how to get my attention. So yeah.
Boxes everywhere, Gray, says Zax. I think I'm lost. Mark McGrath is recommending Lioness. It's been okay. Only 3 episodes so far.
Okay. Yeah, has anybody else seen The Silo? Because Prophet said it was pretty good. He was worried it was going to turn into a woke mystery box bullshit thing, but that it picked up. And I think Zach said that he thought it was
Zach's recommended it, didn't he? Yeah, he was talking about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So there is good stuff out there. I can't access half of it, but hey, VPN, so it should be okay.
Yeah, and obviously Wheel of Time drops on September 1st, which is not good. We learned some more things today about that, and I'm sure we'll be talking about those live. But I mean the mediocre fantasy continues. The Rings of Power. I'm at a loss. But oh well, it is what it is.
There is something, sorry, I can maybe. This is without watching it yet. I can recommend it based on what it is based on. It's a Mark Miller series, which I think is either called Second Coming or American Jesus. It's based on a second coming, a prophet.
Okay.
In modern day America. Netflix. This is a danger, right? It's a Netflix adaptation because they've bought Mark Miller's properties. They bought Miller World. They basically own him. They're bringing it out, and it's the middle of August. It drops before Wheel of Time. So hopefully it could be good.
I don't have Netflix, so to watch deliberately, I don't have Netflix. But I do have a friend that I sail the high seas with, and she will pop in and check those things. And see what shakes loose. Yeah, Nas, the best show in decades. Yeah, The Peripheral. That's got a season 2. That's got a season 2.
He's just making it up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was such a, what do you call it? It started so well. 2 episodes are good, and then the rest of it just goes off a cliff.
Dude, I swear to God, I've heard that Sandman was canceled, and then Sandman had a season 2. There's now a writer's strike, so even if it's not canceled, you're looking at 2 years away for that.
Oh, what a shame.
Abomination. I know. I that's one of those things. I want them to not do it, because the more they do it, the more that they push it, I think the more it kind of demeans and devalues the source material. And maybe Neil Gaiman hates himself, which is a real shame, because I think he wrote some pretty good books and
he did,
good,
back in the
good
day,
graphic
yeah.
novels. And but the more that these people do this self-hating, like, deconstruction of their stuff, it cheapens what came before. And I don't know if that's their goal or not, but that's what it does, you know?
There's a few shout outs in the chat, Solly, for one's called Running Scared. Stephen Ransom and Nosferatu talking about that. Mark McGrath says, if you're looking for an obscure movie that will haunt your soul, oh my goodness, try Kill List.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either of those. Your Barmy says the writer's strike is like divine justice. Well, it kind of is. I don't have a horse in this race. I think both parties are wrong, but at the end of the day, who is responsible for all of these shows being the way they are? Well, it starts with the writers, you know, and I know the role of how important a producer is, and I'm sure that all these corporations have diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates, but still, as a writer, especially a well-known, respected writer, and I'm not talking about Rafe Judkins or Amanda Schumann or any of these people who write the crap that we've gotten, but it's like, if you put a show out that doesn't have a plot, that doesn't have a plot through line through 8-10 episodes, then we don't need you anymore. You know, we're here to be entertained. And the propagandizing, brainwashing, globalist, whatever they've been doing, it's not working. So, I mean, you guys take as much time as you want and stay off, and I'm okay with that. You know, Everybody's worried about AI. I'm not worried about AI at all, because I'm not going to watch that stuff. I cannot and will not watch something that doesn't have a heart or a soul in it. And I'm already not watching 95% of the things that are on streaming or on television or in a movie theater, so it doesn't really affect me that much, you know? And that's not about to stop. You know, I can do without it. And it's not because I'm bitter, it's just because I want to keep my humanity. And I think a lot of these shows are deliberately stripping out what it means to be human. We was talking about it with Norpora the other night, about the removal of the Jungian Campbellian archetypes that are so essential to storytelling. And when you remove those, then it's not a human story anymore, you know?
But Jesus, that got deep fast, didn't it?
Dude, this is how I am all the time. It doesn't mean I'm right. It just means...
Don't let it get you down.
I have strong opinions, that's all, you know? So, yeah.
I can't find it for some reason, never mind. Just wanted to share briefly, where are we? I found something about it. American Jesus, Millarworld, Cinematic Universe. It's an upcoming Netflix original drama based off of the Millarworld comic series, the same name.
I hope he's black.
Directed by Everardo Gout. How's your gout, Salty? Is it all right? I've had it. Mine's gone.
I'm going to have some more bacon.
Official description. It's a multilingual Spanish-English series. American Jesus follows a 12-year-old boy who suddenly discovers he's returned as Jesus Christ. He can turn water into wine and make the crippled walk, and perhaps even raise the dead. How will he deal with the destiny to lead the world in a conflict thousands of years in the making?
You had me at turn water into wine. All right.
I know. I was the same.
Just a bonus, you know, just a bonus.
I'm inviting him round for dinner. Like, can you help me out, mate?
I know. We're having chicken. What do you think? Red or white, Jesus? You know, I mean, yeah.
Jesus.
And then don't even get Nas started, because he'll be like, "Can you fill this box up, Jesus? Because I want to take it home with me." That's how Nosferatu rolls.
Okay, got an essay. The problem with AI is basically it doesn't know what it's doing. There's no intent or idea behind it.
Well, it's not an it. All it is a database. It's a database that it has pre-programmed probability of pulling things out in a pre-programmed order. It's not intelligence, you know. It has a finite amount of combinations of things which are pre-programmed into it based upon the biases of the developer who created it. And that, to me, will it blow the world up? I don't know, maybe. But I'm not. If that happens, you know what? I watched Terminator. I know how this ends. But the whole thing is like, you can see some of the IA generated art of all these impossibly idealized, beautiful influencers, which are just elements on a page that are put together. But you look at these pictures of these not human being females with perfect bodies and perfect faces according to its algorithm. They don't look real. And they're not human. So I don't know. To me, it's like I see that and I immediately reject it, But then again, I'm old and weird and bitter. So,
you bitter? I don't believe it. I got a shout out in the chat to make a poll for you, Salty, to see, do you need a Voight comp test?
Probably. I did see a turtle lying on its back in the desert, and I don't know why I didn't help it. That's all I'm gonna say. Did I fail?
Tell me in simple words the first thing that comes into your head about your mother.
My mother? Let me tell you about my mother. Boom!
So good.
Dude, we could totally redo Blade Runner. Just right here. And I know, Stephen Ransom, it is oversimplifying it, but at its core, I do believe the limitations of that are the limit. It is a dangerous thing. And what it does is it takes discretion in right and wrong and good and bad and morality out of the hands of human beings, which is convenient because right and wrong and morality and good judgment and critical thinking have really been stripped out of younger generations. So I think that's a terrifying thing. By the time this stuff gets going, I'll probably be dead anyway, or the world will have blown itself up. And that's not being negative. It's just pay attention to what's going on in the world right now, But I'm not worried about AI. I'm not, because you know what? I'll unplug everything and I'll make like it's Battlestar Galactica, and I won't be on the network. And if the nukes go off, then well, I can't do anything about that either, can I? I'm just being real here,
No, you don't have to worry about the nukes, mate. There are certain forces, let's say, who won't let them go off.
Oh yeah, the planned UFO invasion thing. That's right. Yep. I have T-shirts in my Teespring store that deal with that. Actually, so I'm just waiting for the staged UFO invasion to bring in the one world government. So, yeah.
What's a tortoise? Asked Dwayne Muth in the chat.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know what a turtle is? Same thing. Now we're gonna need to watch Blade Runner. God damn it! Look at this. Oh,
make a poll for another Blade Runner stream. Oh,
what is what's crazy about this is this movie is 40 something years old, and obviously it came out when we were kids, but we were young kids, and it wasn't a super popular movie. It didn't really get popular until later in the 80s when it came on VHS, and even then it wasn't a super popular movie. It was popular among nerds, but like jocks weren't watching this and stuff like that in the 80s. And it became a cult phenomenon. Name a movie that's come out, I'd say, in the last 10 years where you can sit here and quote it with such relish and panache, and it has this wonderful like human feeling, just of like the shared experience. I can't really think of any movies that have done that. Maybe a couple lines here or there in the early MCU, but I think with everything that's happened with Disney and Phase 4, even those movies, I look at Infinity War, Winter Soldier, and certainly Endgame, very different than I did, say, 4 years ago. Oh
God, yeah, absolutely. Flipping heck, the chat is on fire, Saudi. We've got Nene saying that heard other creatives use the same argument, but still think the collaboration amongst good minds is way superior.
I agree.
We're talking about the AI argument. And Stephen Ransom, staged UFO invasion after 9/11, after gender equality, after masks, anything is possible.
Oh, don't worry. They're trying to push for those masks to come back.
It's all a distraction though, Saudi. What are they trying to distract everybody from?
The collapse of a lot of
The
things.
collapse of
The collapse
free
of a
world.
lot of, yeah, due to rampant greed, incompetence, and minor attracted people in high places. I mean, it's just, all of these things have happened before, and that's the shitty part about all this. This is like, there's nothing new under the sun. This happened in Rome. I mean, this happened in feudal society. This happened in the French Revolution. This happened over and over and over again. Now, we're about to go through a huge paradigm shift, and not all of us are going to make it through it. But life will go on. It will go on, so long as they don't contaminate the planet with Christ knows what. The thing about this is it is the end of how things were before, but it's also the end of complacency and weakness. And unfortunately, for a lot of us who are not complacent or weak, we don't deserve to be in this situation, and yet here we are. But to quote the movie Unforgiven, deserves got nothing to do with it. I mean, we're just this is what's happening, and somebody somewhere who wants to take over the world yet again decided to do this. And our pop culture, our entertainment, our monetary systems, our healthcare, it's just on a global scale, and it sounds dark, but at the same point, it's also real. So, in the meantime, though, drink good bourbon, make love to women who are good in bed, and read good books,
And get out into nature. You're a big fan of that as well. Get yourself out. Go for a walk by a lake. In the forest somewhere. Go down to the beach.
Every
Very
day.
Important.
Every day, unless that pain in the ass Prophet of the Dragon has an early live stream. I walk 5 miles. I walk 5 miles every day.
Oh, do you? That's awesome.
Yeah, and you got to get away from the laptop and the smartphone and anything electronic, and just breathe and be human. So
breathe in the air. And they're saying, if we're calling AI intelligent because of the ability to manipulate, we might as well call politicians the same.
Yeah, except politicians aren't very smart. That's the problem. They just have power, So
yeah, that's cool. Wow, it just got really deep suddenly. It's all going over my head, so it really is. I'll tell you what I've been doing a lot recently, and it's red hot over here. It's crazy. I wait till it gets a little bit cooler, around 4:30, 5, then I cycle down to the local beach, just chill out, unplug, unwind, watch the sea for a while. Sound like an old man, but it feels great.
But that's what I do, but then I'm an old man too, because that's what I do. And there's also a breeze offshore, I mean, I look across the water and I see British Columbia. And there's always that breeze from the northwest off the Pacific and off Vancouver Island, and I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I sit there and there are naval bases all around me. There's always fighters running sorties and stuff like that, and it's just, you sit in a rock and I see seals, or I see families come from out of state that are so excited to see the ocean or the water for the first time, and it's just again, I'm not being sentimental, but it's like, strip away the smartphones and all of this technology, and what are you left with? We're all human beings, and that ability to connect to nature and to find a place where you can get some peace in this world, just finding peace, not even distraction, but just peace. Grab those moments, in my opinion, as much as you can.
Absolutely. This is very good advice, ladies and gentlemen, for all you whippersnappers, all you youngsters out there. Seriously, it's so good. It really does sort you out. And if you can, this is going to sound really hippie-ish, but go barefoot on the beach. You'll feel awesome afterwards.
It's true. And Nas, I want to drink with you and Gray as well, and Zax, and Nathan, Amanda Manethrin, and Nerdporeal Lifeform, and I want to drink with Disparu too. And I know they're having that meetup in the UK, and I know everybody's going over there.
I'm so jealous.
I wish them
to go to the UK.
I wish them all the best of luck over there. I really do. All the UK fans, I hope that they have a good time. I hope they do. So, but yeah, I'd love to have a pint. I have a hell of a lot of bourbon here, more than one man should own, but I'm prepared for the apocalypse in the most important ways. So, I mean, I would definitely hook you guys up with some great bourbon-based drinks. So,
I just want to party all the time. Tell you what, Solly, what's dangerous for me today is that beats that I talk about, which is, it's not 5 minutes, your bar, I wish it was. It's about 35 to 40 cycle away, but it's awesome. There's a beer festival down there today.
Oh, so I mean, here in the States, we all know Sapporo, but is there a better beer in Japan? It's like people.
I don't
think
know
of
about better, but it's
Budweiser
promoting
and
the
beer.
local G beer, the craft beer breweries, the small ones, microbreweries, basically. Yeah, it's taken off in Japan finally.
Do they all make pilsners or lagers, or do they have are they trying to do nut browns or bitters or any of those types in Japan, or how do they do it?
IPA is becoming more popular. There's not much call for bitters, unfortunately. I do miss that in the UK. But IPAs, pilsners, lagers, Weissen, the Weissen beer, the wheat beer, that's popular.
Oh, yeah.
What else? And stout. Stout's making a bit of a
cheers.
comeback.
Yeah.
Sounds good, Salty. Let's go. Let's all go together.
I know, dude.
I'll
let's go drink. I know. Let's go. I'll put on my Speedos and my Hunter Biden bola feather boa, and we could all go down there and drink some Japanese beer. I think it sounds like a lot of fun. We have a lot of breweries, obviously, in the Pacific Northwest, and my favorite is a what they call a dank IPA. Just it's all hazy, and it is literally just basically hops, and that is my thing. The more hoppy and sticky and resiny it is, the more I love it.
That sounds amazing. Oh my God, you're making me, you give me temptation.
I know what sweet talking.
By the way, there's a poll in the chat for is Salty a replicant, and so far it's saying 71% saying yes. Oh my God, unbelievable, Salty.
Okay, this is awesome. I had no idea that was going on, but you know what? I actually could see that. I could actually see that.
You can vote, but the question is, if you vote yes, does that mean you're a replicant or not? Or it's one of those like trick vote questions, isn't it?
Well, we can't even agree if Deckard's a replicant or not. And no. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think Deckard's a replicant. I thought he was a human. If you change Deckard to being a replicant, I think it kind of, as somebody who watched that movie when it came out, it kind of, to me, would ruin what was essentially a love story, and despite all the violence and insanity, I still saw it as a love story,
Yeah. Even though Harrison Ford and Sean Young hated each other on set, apparently.
Oh, Christ. There was one scene where he throws her up against the blinds by her face, and she was crying because he hurt her, because he was so pissed off at her.
He was rough.
Yeah.
I think he was jealous because she was so gorgeous and new and young.
God, she's another one that lost her shit and was running around naked in somebody's yard talking about aliens like in Los Angeles, which is a shame. I mean, what Hollywood does to these women, and then they call us misogynists. But yeah,
I heard like she had a thing for James Woods for a long time. She was almost like stalking him big time. Yeah. Weird. Yeah. Where are we? Stephen, are you okay, mate? My current situation has left me with little faculty to seek change, barely surviving. Most of my energy is spent staying calm, staying focused on my health. All this global concern is beyond me.
I know. I talk to Purple Valkyrie about it a lot, and other people, where they're like, you're making yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Me
too.
There's a lot of things that I don't talk about because, my mate, just because I pay attention, and, I don't need conspiracy theories. It's just, these are the facts, and letting go of that is one of the most healthy things that I've done. It doesn't mean that I'm not paying attention. It just means that I have made appropriate preparations as much as anyone that is sane can. And then the rest of it, I need to enjoy my life, and when the time comes, should it ever, where things can be changed through alternate means, I will be part of that. But in the meantime, I'm going to kind of hang back and try and enjoy life a little bit. But yeah.
Good for you, man. That sounds very positive. It's not like you, Salty. No, I'm joking. Let's see. A&A saying he actually agrees with Salty for once. Deckard was never a replicant. Going back to the source material, it's all about the human condition and mortality, only enhanced by artificial life.
Yeah. And I didn't know we disagreed all the time.
He's just being sarcastic. He loves his
sarcasm.
All
right, okay.
Nosferatu, Stephen, for what it's worth, you're a good dude and people like you. Look at you big teddy bear, Nosferatu.
No, and I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I am, and I'm not saying that to be nice. I mean, I'm 53 and I've started to have some, like my factory warranty is starting to run out. And, it's part of why, like, I'm going to try and enjoy my life and be human as much as I can. And, I mean, it's just, we're here to be human. And unfortunately, we got these candy bar phone things that control our life. And then some people will get wrapped around the axle about, like, views on social media or whatever it is, or even subs on YouTube or views on videos. And I mean, the whole thing about all this is it's run by an algorithm, and if you're out there saying things that aren't flat and pointless and vapid, there's a good chance YouTube's not going to let your video be shown. You know what I mean? Or social media either. And it is what it is.
So it's like me. You know what I talk about. We have a good laugh and we talk comics and movies. Every single stream I've been doing since about 2 months ago now, it gets limited straight afterwards for no reason. I have to appeal it, and then
all my live streams. I just demonetize all my live streams now because I'm going to get limited anyway. And I can't tell you why, unless Prophet of the Drag is on and he says the F word 20 times, then I know why. But, and to be fair, I if I say it more than twice, then it gets demonetized. But I just demonetize the live streams.
Really? Is it that strict? I thought they were okay if it went beyond a certain time.
I think if you talk about certain things and are unflattering to certain advertisers, then
there is that
you are
as well.
Going to be clipped, which is part of what I'm talking about with the unreality of what YouTube is. And to me my motivation has always been just make the best quality thing that I can and then get better technically and work with good people, build people up, and listen to other people who are smarter than I am to try and get better at making the best possible thing that I can. So that's it. That's it. And
great advice, mate.
If you're trying to chase, I don't know,
chase
something, I mean, you can. It's just, man, I just would much rather go watch hot chicks or walk on the beach or eat a pizza or, I read a good book. YouTube is a cruel mistress. She really is,
By the way, Stephen, just being serious for a minute, that's why I was saying earlier on, mate, I really do hope you're okay. I hope you're Genki. I hope things are okay. So that was from the heart. Miss you being on the movie review streams. I hope things improve for you ASAP.
Yeah.
Deckard would make a great hand model, says Dwayne. I'm lost.
Just the music from that movie done by Vangelis is so incredible. It's so incredible. And they remastered the Vangelis tracks so that it sounds even better in high resolution audio. And just, why did people stop using saxophone, Gray? Have you noticed that? Like, where did all of the amazing saxophone soundtracks go? No, but think about it. You had it in Blade Runner. You had it in countless movies in the 80s, like Romancing the Stone and Miami Vice soundtrack. But saxophone is such a powerful instrument, and it just seems to have completely disappeared from being in any movie at all. I don't know.
Why is that? That's weird.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry, how are you doing? Should we wrap things up?
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you too late. This has been a really good, fun, short live stream. Good chat, good catch up. I appreciate you coming on, mate.
Oh, thanks for the invite. Oh no. I mean, you would. I mean, it's just fun to work with you, and Blair and so many other people. And it's just, it's nice to just have one of these streams where the stream of consciousness and then the chat who's brilliant. Your chat is brilliant tonight. Like they lead the conversation, and when the chat is leading your conversation, that's when it's a good time. So thanks for having me on.
No, I appreciate it, mate. That's cool. Anything you want to shout out, or are you good?
No, just I will do this. Nerdtorial Lifeform just put out a really good retrospective on a new anime that's out there. You showed it earlier. It was Galactic League of Heroes, I think. And he's getting me into watching that. I vaguely remember that. So I'm going to check that out again. But go give Brian Nerdtorial a view because he does these really wonderful retrospectives. So, yeah.
I tell you what, sorry, I love his voice on those. I don't know if it's his accent or something about him. I just really like that sound, and he puts so much care and effort into those videos he does. Really good work.
Yeah. I love the editing work that he does, and like all of us, you watch his evolution, you watch other people's evolution with edited videos, and it's when you do it yourself, you really kind of go, holy cow, like that person put a lot of care and effort and time into making it. And so, you know, what Brian did, it's a really good video, so check it out.
Yes, indeed, and do leave a comment as well on that. And of course, every live stream or video that you watch, if you can, even just saying like, you know, hey, you're awesome. That's what Salty does to me all the time.
It really does help the videos. It's the difference between your video saying getting 50 views and your video getting 600 views is getting those comments and then responding to those comments as a creator genuinely, and just having people who react to them. And again, it's part of the unreality of YouTube. You know, YouTube, you know, the more people who comment, the more that it's pushed to new people. And if you make good content, those new people will look at it and maybe they'll leave a comment, you know? So it is what it is.
It is indeed. And yeah, as you were saying, sorry, great chat. Great to have you here. Oh my goodness, it's gone up as well, the numbers, but hey, what a time to finish. So before we finish, what have I got coming up? Only my regular Monday, my time it's Monday night, so it's early Monday morning for the States. I do like a comic book review of the week and just talk about what's coming out. That's been fun. So I keep them nice and short, like between 35, 45 minutes.
I love them.
Yeah,
I love
just
them.
Fun. Thank you, man.
No, I mean, I because I'm not following comic books anymore, and that's why when you talked about Fire and Ice, and then Max talked about it, I was like, all right, I'm going to go out and just buy these things blind, and I'm really glad that I did, because it's nice to be excited about something, but to be excited about something worth being excited about, not lowering our expectations, not walking back what good is just to be part of a trend or something like that. Legitimately, these look fantastic, and that to me is, I don't know, it gives me a little bit of hope in my dried up husk of a soul. So yeah,
I'm really glad that me and Max were able to do that, to, you know, get people interested in something that is actually good, that's, you know, that's out now, which is rare. But the fact that they're coming from indie publishers, that's very interesting, isn't it? DC and Marvel, sorry. But anyway, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, all these indie people, if they get money to buy the licenses and make things that are 80 to 90% close to the source material, they're going to print money.
That's it.
Money.
That's all you gotta do.
Well, I'm gonna support people who don't shit on the source material,
yeah.
You know, and that's it. And that's why I'm buying these. So, yep.
Here we go. Dwayne saying Pops on Saturday mornings doing, he's covering Batman the Animated Series, another fantastic series, of course. Yeah. And if Salty doesn't watch Sanctuary, I'm done with him, says Nosferatu.
Hey, you know what? I got a little black book. You're not the only name in it, Nos. That's all I'm saying. So.
Oh my goodness. Okay, on that note, let's finish with a quick clip. Here we go.
Enchanté. Well, nice.
See you next time.